Let's have a pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is the public speaking. Anybody got anything to say?
I got a question.
Question?
What's the status of the contract with the Young Road construction?
I'll give you an update, everything I have. We have a contract here we gotta sign tonight. I have it here.
Is it with Firehouse? Is that what
Yeah.
you chose? What, 245, 112? Or something like
yeah.
that? 245, $112?
If you give me a second, I'll find my copy.
245,000. Okay,
It's roughly that amount.
yeah, well, it's got some, I think it even had 25 cents attached to it somehow.
They have 245,000, 1,100, let me try this one more time.
111.
$245,111.98. That's what they have.
I gave
this
you
one.
2 cents.
Yeah, well, that's what they put in the contract.
Well, I have a question about that calculation. You know, your total funding from the 3 sources, counting the local match, is $396,386. Significant amount of money. If you take the contract for Terracon, which is $14,500, Buckley Group, $49,500, and this one, the 245,112. You got $87,000, almost $300, $87,300 left over out of the funding. Okay? You need to spend 88% of what the total funding is that's available. There's 22% unspent. Now, Bob, there hasn't been any maintenance done on that road for 3 years. Almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years, May 21st.
That section of, yeah.
Yeah, that section.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of it, you haven't done any chip and seal for a couple of years, whatever. Why can't you go to the funding sources, because each one of them, you're gonna have to pay back 22% to each one of the 3, including yourself.
Just to Ohio Public Works, FEMA, we don't have to pay anything back on that.
Okay, well, then what the OEM, emergency management or so, you have to pay more back to them? Because you're not gonna spend the total grant.
We have to pay a certain percentage to Ohio Public Works,
Well,
Which is our portion.
no.
but we don't have to pay anything on the EMA.
So you can keep the $89,000?
But we can't spend that money on the rest of the road. That has to be, what we don't use, they keep.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We're not gonna get that whole funding if they said that.
Well, I'm saying, I understand. If you don't need it, you don't have contracts that should cover the total amount that's funded right now,
Right.
okay? I'm saying, since there hasn't been any maintenance done on that road, have you been down there? Have you seen from my driveway down to the bottom? It's a significant erosion. Trees are down over the road.
We're gonna work on it as soon as we get it fixed.
I know. Why not try to get some of this money instead of sending it back? The state of Ohio and these funding sources could care about 87,000, believe me. It's peanuts, it's nothing. And if you could have a rationale that says because the road has been closed for 3 years, there has not been any maintenance done on it, you need this money. You're gonna spend a lot of money fixing that road if you're gonna put it back up in the passable shape.
We got to put it back up for the truck.
Well, I know you have to. Why not ask for this money? They've already given it to you. If you could get, some kind of rationale together to convince them that you haven't done any maintenance for 3 years and this is necessary, they may in fact say, well, we've already granted it. Just give us a proposal for the balance of the funding and we'll accept it. I'm not saying it's gonna happen automatically, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Then you'll have $87,000 to put into that road anyway, or whatever you would need. And you could do some chip and seal. It needs chip and seal, Bob, there's a lot of traffic on that road when it opens up. When it opens up, there'll be a lot of traffic, and you know that because you told me how surprised you were about the traffic on that road after you
More
did
traffic
that.
on that road than what you realize. really.
Well, when it's opened up, cause it's 4 miles around versus a quarter of a mile.
You have to send Laura
I
an email.
Can you,
We
I mean, I'd be-
can inquire, and if they deny it,
I
then
will start with Laura first through OEM and ask her, and then we will go from there.
well, it may be possible.
Well, I know, but I'm gonna start with her, and that way, because she is with all of this,
Mhm.
so I'll start with her and then we'll find out, so.
I know in the past, on our slips, if we had money left there, we had to send it back.
Did you ask to keep it for something else?
Yes,
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can't keep it.
they just more or less will, I think, but don't quote me on it, I think they'll just give us what we need to fix the slip. I don't know.
Well, maybe I'm thinking, maybe the engineer Buckley Group should have put into the plan, the other part of the road, because I've been down there, I go down there, frequently. It's on my property. And, it's 4-wheel drive. It's rutted out real bad.
I know, we gotta,
I cut 2 trees that fallen here in this past storms.
first thing we gotta do is get ditch and start building.
Well, there's a lot that needs to be done, not only ditch, but there's a lot of erosion below the slip. From below the slip down to Rodehaver, there's a lot of erosion there, and there's a lot of erosion above it. From my driveway on down. Anyway, I thought I would ask you about that. I've over the years, I've worked with different funding sources. And sometimes when there's a need, they've already given you the money, or, they've already granted the money, they may in fact, allow you to use it.
If they do, it'd be the first time, I'd be glad if they did,
Well,
I mean, seriously.
you know about squeaky wheels, Bob.
Yeah, sure do.
Well, anyway, that's my suggestion. So you're gonna sign the contract tonight?
We are.
You got a copy of the contract, huh?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it just came in on the 30th or the 31st.
Oh, good.
So there was a time and we knew this meeting was gonna be, so I brought the contract tonight to have them sign.
Okay, Clinton thought it was okay, okay.
I got a copy of it
This
too,
process.
so.
Ms. Buckley, could I have a copy eventually of that?
Yeah, I didn't make a copy, I apologize for that.
You probably didn't know I'd be here.
She
Well,
never
I didn't know
saw
if you would be here, and I can make copies and either mail them to you, or,
You have my
they can
copy.
get with you.
it. I don't need 2 copies.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why
I've
don't we
got
have
my
a
copy,
copy?
I just made one,
I
so.
appreciate it, thank you. Thank you.
Anything else, anybody got anything to say? If not, we'll have the reading of the bill, motion to pay the bill, money sufficient.
move to pay the bills, if funds are sufficient.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, I was trying to type. Okay, there is not a ton of bills, cause we paid them throughout the, month. I do have Steve's check, when you guys signed checks, the one for Bruiser Trucking ended up with my bills, it didn't end up to him. So I have it to leave for him for tomorrow.
Now, he asked me about that this
Yeah,
morning.
and it's been done, I just didn't realize it was in with my bills, and when I came in, I'll be honest with you, I didn't look in my stack, I just picked up what I needed to file. So, and I noticed it today when I had it, so, Before we start, I know it's in correspondence, but I'll tell you about it now. I received an email on Friday from Kim through Alan Stone, and you know, at our last meeting, I had to cancel the check for the $106,688.25 because they had not received it yet. So I went to the bank, I did a stop payment on it, which was either $25 or $35. And she sends a text or an email on Friday and says, "We received the check." Now that was mailed shortly after our meeting in February.
So they got it at the end of March.
Was that not insane?
Well,
And, cause the
what
new
check
one.
did they get, the one, the
The
new?
one, yeah, because I hand delivered the second one. The second one, I hand delivered. Kim and I met, cause she was checking one of the jobs in, Athens, so we met after school. And I was able to hand her the check, but yeah, I received it and they said, what do you want me to do with it? Do you want me to shred it? And I said, no, I need you to send it back to me, so we have proof that, and I have the email that I'll attach to it, so when the audit comes through, they can see that, but yeah. Friday is when that check came through, it was kinda crazy, it's like, wow, that's insane. So, you guys had a check for performance signs, it was for 4 arrows and 2 signs for dog collar, it was $232. We had one for Diamond Stone. Now this is the one for the 1st of March. It was for $2,155.05. It was, seriously, I just had the paper. Seriously. I just had it. Alright, I'm gonna send the check through and I have the invoice, I just gotta find it. So I have a couple more invoices here from Diamond Stone that you guys can, literally just had it a minute ago. Oh well, I'll come back to that. Randy Moore Petroleum, this was for octane, it was for diesel, dyed, and regular. It was $2,717.98. Canny Plastic, it was for culvert and the splitter couplers, it was $409. Was that for a specific job, gentlemen, or was that? It was for a 10-inch by 20-foot culvert, 2 of them.
Oh.
119.
Thank you. Sorry. Shade River Ag Service, you guys had bought some fescue, it was $94.50. There it is. Where did I have it? This was for Diamond Stone. This was for what Brewster Trucking had hauled. They had hauled 94 ton of number 304. This goes with that Diamond Stone check. If you guys just want to put your initials on that. We also had too many folders this month, guys. That's correspondence. I don't need that. I also had a internet bill for the UAN, and it was $800 and some because it had an hour's worth of audit information on it, and I'll tell you more about the audit information as well. Oh my gosh, my brain today. That's what happens when you don't have school. Okay, I'll come back to that. So that is it for the checks that need to be signed. I also have Diamond, no, it's payroll. I haven't done payroll. I haven't got that far yet. But the 2 Diamond Stones that I have one for the 17th, guys, and I have one for the 22nd, I believe. No, 17th and the 17th and the 24th. I don't know who hauled that, if they delivered it, cause I don't have any tickets for it. I haven't been over to check, so.
From where was it?
It was for the 17th of March, and we also had, there was 94 tons of 8, and then on the 17th, we had 94,
It had to been Steve Hall.
okay, I didn't know,
Yeah.
so then I don't have the pit tickets
He's
for
on
it.
the 8s and
That's
3 and
fine.
4s.
I just didn't know if they delivered it, because I can't tell by the price,
No.
if they delivered it, or if, we had Grizzer Trucking haul it or not, so I just wasn't 100% sure on that. So I won't have those invoices. I also had a Skinner invoice, I got, and I sent a message to Tara, and I said, I need invoices, cause I don't have invoices that go with those statements, or with that statement, so it was like $750 was the balance forward. It was done for this year, so I'm waiting for her to send me the statements, because I don't know what they're for. So, there was no,
In a tar?
Yeah, the only thing we did, I thought we issued a check for the, switching of the.
we had
Tires
one,
and
it was
wheels.
it was $375, but there was a balance forward of $750, so I don't know what it's for. So I'm having Tara, she's the one that does all that at Skinner, so she's supposed to be sending it to me, and I haven't gotten anything yet.
We haven't had any tire issues other than that.
So I don't know, gentlemen, so I don't know if it was, they put it on our bill by mistake, but when I have the invoice, then I will let you know. As I said, we just got that. Payroll was the same, as it was last month.
Skinner car change and tires on the park truck?
Mm-hmm. But I think it's the $385 charge, but I don't have no idea what that 700 plus is for.
And that's what I said, I don't know, so I'm not gonna issue a check until I have an invoice that, and she sent me an email and said that she will work on it, so that's all I can do right now on that one. This is a super blanket certificate that you guys just need to sign. It just proves that, I moved money, to pay for the stone that we have, cause it can be paid out of the art fund. And that is it for, if I can find the two that I buried somewhere.
These numbers are true numbers.
As of right now, with everything that we have, everything that has been paid up to now, the only thing that is not on there, would be some of the withholdings from the bank account, but I don't have the statement yet. So it would be, high tax, acres, which would be about, I don't know, about $4,000, probably, by the time we're done. Before that, we had a bill for C&B handling, for $739.37 for the Bobcat, Sedgwick, which is workman's comp, it was $175. We had a repayment for Ranson of $106.75, and that was due to some things that he purchased, at Menards, and Menards was having an issue with finding our account. That's it. So it was only $13,002.66 this month.
Pardon me.
Yeah, only, but sometimes we have months like that, depending on when bills are paid, when, repairs are done, sometimes we don't have as many outlay. Now may be different.
Reading the minutes?
These were the minutes from our regular meeting on March the sixth, 2023, at the Township Meeting Room at 7 o'clock. In attendance was Robert Pullins, Willie Gass, Ransom Calloway, Gail Buckley, and I have my sheet for the additional persons that were here. Robert Pullins called the meeting to order with the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. There was no public speaking. Clinton Kay from Buckley Group was at the meeting to open the bids for Young Road repair. There were 5 bids, all were open in red. See sheet for the amounts of bids. Buckley Group will go through all paperwork to make sure all is in order and give us their recommendation to have it repaired. To go with the construction company that Buckley recommends,
There's something
yeah,
missing.
there is, that would be Willie.
Okay.
Willie made a motion to go with the construction company that Buckley Group recommends, Ransom second, and all approved. Robert Pullins asked for the bills and a motion to pay the bills if money is sufficient. Willie made a motion to pay the bills, Ransom seconded, all approved. All bills were paid, payroll was signed and given to the trustees and the fiscal officer. All end of the month paperwork was given to the trustees. Gail stated that a check for Alan Stone had to be voided and stop payment due to being lost in the mail. The check number was 18385. Another check was written and signed and would be hand delivered. The minutes were read. Willie made a motion to accept the minutes as read with corrections. Ransom seconded, all approved. Kevin McKinnon from Williamson Insurance was there to present information about coverage for the fire department. The trustees asked him to provide a quote for coverage for the entire township. Correspondence was read and approved. There was no old business. New business. Keith would like to return to his duties as cemetery worker. Ransom made a motion to bring Keith back at $13.25 an hour on March the 20th. He will have his benefits from when he was hired before, 1 week of vacation. Willie seconded, all approved. A resolution was read and passed for DAS for the township to join the co-op to help get internet at the firehouse. Ransom asked for the resolution, Willie seconded, all approved. The firehouse presented their activity sheet for February 2023, see attached sheet. Trustees talked about spring cleanup dumpster to be delivered the first week of April. It'll be there until it's full. Bob stated that it would need to go into the paper as well as one for the cemeteries. The trustees talked about what stone to be used for chip and seal. They agreed on number 857, makes the surface too rough. A motion was passed to use Bruiser Trucking as a stone hauler for the township at $6.75 a ton as of right now. It increase up if fuel increases. Bruiser Trucking will let us know if an increase will happen. Ransom asked for a motion, Willie seconded, all approved. Bob asked for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Ransom made a motion to adjourn the meeting, Willie seconded, all approved.
Well, the cemetery cleanup and the dumpster didn't get in the paper.
And I sent them one, and then I sent a reminder back through to them.
Oh, never got in there. I didn't see it in there anyway.
Well, no, cause I put a reminder back through toward the end of the month to remind everybody to do cemetery cleanup, so. Alright, I'm gonna have to call the paper and figure out what I am supposed to do and how I am supposed to make sure that these things actually get into the newspaper. Cause I have been told many times that it is a news brief and is to be sent through to the info and it goes to their main desk. So I don't know if that is different now, but I tried putting it in twice. At the beginning of the month and toward the end of the month. That's it for my minutes.
Correspondence?
Do you wanna?
This last paragraph here, did I make the motion? I certainly didn't ask for a motion, what's that mean?
Yeah, a motion was passed to use Gruiser Trucking as a stone hauler for the township at $6.75 a ton.
Last sentence,
Nancy made the
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah, you made a motion, Willie seconded it.
Says ask.
okay, I made it,
It needs to be changed to made instead of ask.
Oh, sorry.
that's what confused me.
No, I'm sorry. Sometimes when I read these, you hear it in your head a certain way, so, sorry.
Okay, right, so made the motion,
Made the motion.
okay, gotcha.
Sorry about that, John.
Any other? No, I'll get this.
I don't know, is there any more?
Any more corrections or additions? in it? Motion to accept the minutes is read.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
All in favor?
with corrections.
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, we received, the sales and tax use construction contract exemption form that we had to just sign, or I had to sign and send back, to give Firehouse Construction, that we are tax exempt. It's just a sales and use tax construction contract exemption form. What is checked, it is for Carthage Township in Athens County, Ohio, Carthage Township road slip repair. It says real property under a construction contract with the United States government, its agencies, the state of Ohio, and/or Ohio political subdivision. It has their information on it, who they are, signed by the owner, their address, where they're from, my name, my signature, our address here at the township building. I had to do this and send it back to, Buckley Group to put in with the paperwork. I received from Cora information about the audit. There was some, fund adjustments that I had to do, and it's just, they were put into the wrong fund. So I have to go in and I have to adjust those funds. So I did the adjustments, I sent them back to her, and she will be letting me know when we can have, audit. What's the word I'm looking for? An audit meeting, so. If you guys want to look at the adjustments, you're more than welcome to. We received from Matheny Motors, there's a survey, if you guys wanna do it, I assume it's for the fire department. It just says overall, how likely are you to recommend Matheny Motor Company, 0 through 10?
Not at all.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, alright, I will put that on there. Is there a reason if they ask me to,
Well, that's the reason I text you and, ask if you received a bill from them.
I did not receive a bill
To
from them.
not issue a check,
No.
because I've gotta have a lengthy discussion with them.
No, I did not receive a bill from them. There was a release for the UAN accounting, for our, UAN accounting network. I received it in the mail, but I've not updated it yet. I didn't wanna update it until after we had our meeting. I received, you had sent me a message about Miss Kaylee had not received our resolution for the co-op. Well,
Okay,
I put to her and said, yes, I did. She said, have you received your username and password? And I have not received an email that has that information on it, so.
there's two ladies in that office,
Okay.
her and a Maureen, or something, anyway,
Okay.
the lady's first name is Maureen.
Okay,
And I had a verbal conversation with her, phone-wise,
okay,
and I didn't bring it tonight, but we have the certificate with our
Oh,
number
okay.
on it, so
okay,
I was able to print it out at home.
okay. So I don't need to do
Where-
anything else with
I don't
this?
think so.
Okay,
but I've sent messages back to this Kaylee.
Okay,
She hasn't replied, but we should be in the system, and our request for the internet should be in the process, and the wheels ought to be turned. I don't-
well, and as I said, when you sent that to me, I thought, well, I sent it to her and I didn't get any kickback that said that, I sent it to the wrong email.
Yeah.
So
Well,
then I
this-
sent it to her again.
This Maureen lady, she checked somehow and she said, yeah, the resolution's here, the
Okay.
request is here, I'll just go ahead and fill out
Okay.
the rest of it for you.
Okay,
So, she did.
awesome. This is just correspondence, back with, Kim and Alan Stone about the whole check information. That's what it was about. We received $9,600 from, EMA. Part of it was there was one bill for Young Road and there was one bill for Roadside Park Road. So that $9,600, if you will check on your fund sheet, is in the, EMA, or it's in the FEMA 2901, I believe is what the category is. So we have a little bit of money in there, right there. We have $12,000 in there, and we'll use that when I have to pay Buckley Brothers,
Buckley Group.
Buckley Group, when they send me, bills. Well, I know, I do that all the time. When they send me a bill for, when they've worked on the road, whether it be for engineering or whatever, but that's what that $12,000 is for, and it can only be used for those two roads. It can't be used for anything else. We received, just a note that said that, the work deadline on your project under the grant, is coming due, but all of these that have come due, Clinton takes care of that through Buckley Group. He's on top of making sure they extend the time for the projects. We received a huge 39-page documentation for the landside repair, on Young Road. It's the bid proposal for Firehouse. I was not going to make multiple copies of this. If anybody wants to take a look at it, but it has all the information in it. If somebody does want it, I will make a copy, but I wasn't gonna make extra copies for you guys. I thought that was just a lot of wasted paper.
I have a copy of it.
And then the last piece of information that I have is the contract for us through,
The contract with
Firehouse Construction. I wanted to say Alan Stone. So I don't know if you wanna discuss that now, or if you wanted to wait in your business.
You can go ahead and do it since you got the paperwork out there.
The email that I received said that, they have signed it, the prosecuting attorney, Keller Blackburn has signed it, on this date, which was March the 30th, and I received it in our email. So it says, what we need is the signatures of the trustees, and then on this page with the certificate of prosecuting attorney, it says the certificate of Township Fiscal Officer, I, Dale Buckley, Fiscal Officer of Carthage Township, Athens, Ohio, do hereby certify that there is in the treasury or in the process of collections the sum of, there is no amount on this, so I've got to find out from Laura what amount we are putting on there. Because I don't know, there is no amount on there.
It's $9,909.
I know, but with the amount being different, I don't know if the amount is still $9,900. Because the cost of the, not the cost, but the amount of the project is less than what we had submitted for, so,
22%.
yeah, so. So I just need a motion if you guys want to sign that and accept them as your, yes, $9,900 is the correct amount, but I don't know if that's the amount that I'm supposed to put on that. So I wanna make sure for Laura, if that's the amount that I'm supposed to put on there, or if there's a different amount.
What's the amount of the grants?
The,
That hasn't changed, has it? The amount of the grants hasn't
no,
changed?
as far as I know.
It'll
it's
only
not.
change after all your expenditures are made. Okay.
Motion to accept the contract.
I'll make the motion.
Second motion.
Bob, did you make the motion or did Willie make the motion?
Willie,
I asked for the motion. They are waiting on this contract to get started, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are ready to go.
That's what they told me, so,
did that come in an email? This
Yes, it did.
contract? Can you just forward it to me?
yes, I sure can.
Thank you.
Yeah, it just says, attached is a signed contract for the Young Road Landside Repair Project. The certificate of prosecuting attorney has also been signed, so all that is left is for the trustees and the fiscal officer to sign, and you will be under contract. Please email me a copy when everyone has signed it. So I don't have to, I don't have to hand deliver, I can just email it, yes.
You need to let me know when you get this stuff. So, when I get a phone call, I can say, Gail's got it.
Okay,
Because I don't know when you get it, and I print it off, but I don't
and
know
then I
when you
printed
got it.
off. I just took it out of my email on Sunday because I was out of town on Saturday.
It saved me a lot of phone calls.
is there signatures required on page 3?
Just that one page. This, ours
It's
ain't-
just the
this
front
is-
one. The back
What's
is the
this
red,
certificate of township trustees?
yeah, but it doesn't have to have your signature, it's just saying who the trustees are.
Okay.
They didn't say anything about that, it just says, please attach to find the contract.
On Park
Approve the
Road,
form.
we didn't have to sign that, we just signed it one on top.
Okay.
It's a whole bunch of paperwork.
Oh, yeah. The Clean Air Act, and the DHS seal logo and the flags, some sort of exception, reporting requirement, on and on and on.
Yep. And the whole thing is 39. Time you get done, you got about 45 pages.
Okay, you're gonna get this, you're gonna need to look at this.
It does, send me an email, I'll be all right.
That's what Clint said, he said all it has to be done is scanned and emailed.
Is that all you got?
That's all I have for correspondence, yes, sir.
Okay. Old business. No old business, we'll move on to new business. On May the 13th, I'd have to bring, see if I can bring everything. On May the 13th, the League of Women Voters, Athens County. Here's the email I got, I can print it off here, just got that for you. You need to talk with other trustees about a public meeting to help people learn how to run for nonpartisan office. We had tentatively scheduled May 6th for Gloucester. We are waiting confirmation from the Board of Elections about their participation. We want to know if this is possible for Carthage Township, and some dates that might work for you. Please let me know after your meeting this evening.
They just wanna know open dates? Open,
Yeah, last one we talked about, when I talked to him, was May the 13th, right after our breakfast. I thought that would be a good one.
Okay. For a daytime thing,
Yeah.
immediately after breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. There's nothing else going on.
Right. Well, what it is people that wanna run for office, I'm gonna be one of the speakers, I don't know who else is gonna be there. They asked me if I would speak a little bit. To tell the people how you run for office, what you have to do, and your responsibilities after you get in there and stuff like that. May not be anybody there, I don't know, but we're gonna try to get the Board of Elections down there. And this might be a good time, if we get the Board of Elections down there, to raise Cain about the voting
Yeah.
precinct over here.
And that's the Women's League of Voters that's sponsoring it.
So the 13th is off, and you got any other dates? You got the schedule on the far out.
If you wanna keep it on a Saturday, for any other day, evening or?
Saturday would probably be best, I would say.
Well, the following Saturday is open, so even the first Saturday, the 6th, there's nothing going on there.
They're in Gloucester, see.
Oh, alright, yeah, you did say that, sorry.
13th,
13th's open,
20th,
20th's open, 27th's open, but I probably won't be here that day, so. Got another plan for that Saturday.
I say after breakfast would be a good time. We can stay.
Scheduled for the 13th?
I'm gonna tell them 13th.
Alright.
At a specific time.
Right after breakfast would be probably 12:30 or so.
Well, you gonna give the auxiliary a chance to meet and do their thingies?
Yeah.
1 o'clock?
12:30, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And they're supposed to put it in the paper or whatever, supposed to take care of all our stuff. But it probably won't last very long. She said probably an hour mostly. Only last. You got the tractor welded, right?
Yeah.
Well, I talked to Fred, and
We're gonna trade it.
if you hadn't got it welded,
I
I
thought
was
that was,
gonna ask you guys to send it down there.
I thought that was the plan, so I'll
Well,
go ahead with it.
I'm fine, I'm just
Okay,
telling you what I done.
sure, alright.
They were gonna reboost those pins on top, to keep breaking the bolts, like I had down there,
Mm-hmm.
and reinforce that in there where it breaks all the time. I can put reinforcements in there. Since you already got it done, you don't need that.
Oh, alright.
I mean, anything you send it down there now, I don't think.
Well, it'll break again. I'm sure it will. So, when it breaks again, we can send it in.
Well, Alan told me he'd have to take that cut off of there where he could weld it all the way around it and put braces on 3 sides.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's up to you guys. I got the quote there, it's $3,300 to reboost it and reweld it.
I'd say let it go until it falls apart again.
Right.
What do you think?
Yeah, if you're in well,
It looks good. Did you look at?
Yeah, look at it this morning.
Yeah. Forgot to tell Steve that the batteries was in bad shape. He probably figured that out, or somebody did, since the hood's off from it and such.
Oh, there in the tractor bag.
One facing the tractor, the battery on the left must have a dead cell because it just goes totally negative when you put the tester on it. And the one on the right, I managed to get it started from it. It seems to be good, yeah.
It's been a while since we got it in.
I'm pretty sure the one on the left is done for. I had as many sparks on that battery as I did the guy welder when I first tried to start it.
That's all I had for I had 3 things right there.
as of March the 31st, our temporary budget went null and void, and then we had to do our permanent budget. When I gave you guys these figures back in January, we did temporary and permanent, you approved them, but I had a little bit different number when I went to do my permanent budget. So I will pass. I thought I made 3 copies. It's all one big sheet, Mom. I had it as $825,250, and it's a little less than that. My general fund, I had it at $141,100. It's now $138,884.51. The motor vehicle license tax is the same at $30,000. The gas tax is a little bit different. I had it at $202,400, but it only needs to be $152,400. The gas tax is where all of the payroll is paid from, where your guys, the majority of your payroll and all the workers' payroll. Road and bridge is $62,000, and I had it at $147,000. 241, it's the same. Chip and seal, $98,500. 2191 is fire, it's a little less at $63,600. Cemetery is $24,000 instead of $29,000. Permissive motor vehicle license tax is $7,000, it's the same. Our FEMA account, it increased. My FEMA account our FEMA account I had at $20,000, but it is now at $130,000, and the reason it's such a huge increase is because we received the payment for the $106,000 that we owed Alan Stone. So anytime we receive money, we have to increase that amount as well.
Where did you come up with these numbers at?
This is, if you will look on your papers,
I'm looking.
right here, right here, if you will look, it's on your other ones too. Here's your temporary and here's your permanent numbers. So what you have to do is go through. So there's your permanent numbers. If I change them, so all you have to do is go through with what numbers, like for salaries in Township, mine is $19,200 for the entire year. I have Oprah's is about $24,000 for the year. Medicare is around $2,000. Those aren't exact numbers, but you have to go a little higher than lower. Workman's comp, we already did, it was $2,500. Auditing services was $2,000. Uniform accounting is about $5,200. We have tax collection fees, which when we receive our monies in May and in October, and then what we receive from the state, we have to take the taxes, we have tax fees that we owe Athens County, the auditor's office for preparing our paperwork. Property insurance is $17,000. Office supplies are $1,500. Other expenses are about $40,000. This is for the entire year. So that's where those numbers come from, Joel. And as I said, these were the same papers that I gave you in January. I just have to let you know that I had to make a change, so the amount is different.
Those numbers seems awful high to me.
Well,
I'm not saying you're
I
wrong.
know,
I'm just-
but if you go back and look at last year's compared to this year's, and 22's is on there, so you can look to see what we spent last
Yeah.
year and then what we spent this year.
I mean, we didn't have much left over at the end of the year.
This is what we think we're going to spend. Now, it may not be that amount that we'll
Right.
actually spend.
No, we need to appropriate more than what we. Okay. So we need to approve this?
Yes. If you guys will just approve it so I can send it
You wanna
in.
look this over?
Thank you.
Give it to Miss Tammy and Jill. And Jill's name is changed. If you send anything down there, it's now Davidson instead of Thompson. So everything is There's 3 copies.
Alright.
I couldn't find mine.
I got Bob's,
Oh,
the
you-
ad.
You have yours and then Bob can keep that one. Cause I have mine. So, as I said, this is what we think we possibly will spend,
This year.
this year. And it may not be that much, we may not spend that much.
We may not have that
But-
much to spend.
Well, we may not. But, you know, we have to set a budget that says, okay, we think we're going to spend this much.
Right. I understand.
I know, it seems like
Yeah,
a
it seems like
tremendous
a
amount of
number.
money, but
Well, I'm not used to these big numbers way back, I guess.
Yeah, everything's on an increase. If you look back at the year before,
Oh my. So. I don't know what liquid's gonna be this year.
it can't be any worse than it was last year.
And I think,
Cause it was terrible last year.
I haven't heard yet.
It'd be nice if it went down, but it was double what it was the year before. What it was per tanker.
The higher it is, the less we can do. So, what it is.
where do we end up? Did you get motion? Where do you end
You
up?
guys are still looking.
I have the motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I guess I should have said the budget.
Anything else on new business?
Yeah, we got some money for rentals. There's, $100 in cash for 5 different occasions, and the 5th one in a check for, and those were all either family dinners or birthday parties.
Did you ever hear anything back from this insurance guy, or?
I don't know, he asked me if, one day if we were making any progress, and I told him that, we were kind of snowballed and behind and everything else, and we hadn't made any progress on it. So he didn't call me anymore. I kinda doubt that he will. I had a conversation with Willard, Rome Township fiscal agent, excuse me, and, they first were gonna go with him, but, they decided not to.
Yeah, he's talking about that breakfast room again. Well, to me, it's too high.
It's more than we can afford. I tried to convey that to him the day that the 3 of us met over there, you know. And, it's too high. It probably is a very good policy, but it's not, in my opinion, it's not something we can afford. We're used to a termer. A termer's been really good when we make a claim. I guess go with what you know, or
Nothing else, motion to close.
I think we have firehouse.
It's probably just going no business, but you mentioned a raise for the guys last month.
Yes.
Can we proceed with it, or do you want to hold off again?
What else? They asked me about it the other day, and I told them we're on hold right now, and find out what the budget's gonna be for next year for sure. we don't know probably what we'll do this month before we know
What?
what our budget will be for next year, before we get any money.
For our income. Spring settlement, you mean?
Oh, yeah, we won't get it till, gosh, May, middle of May sometime.
Mid-May is
Yeah.
usually when it
So
appears.
hold off until June then.
I told them it was on hold till,
Okay.
unless we won't change it, I mean,
No, I think that's fine for now.
Well, I can tell you exactly what they're making per hour, if that will help your decision.
Yeah. They should be making 17,
I don't remember.
17.50 and 18.
I think it sounds,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure, I gotta look it up.
Am I wrong? Yeah, if you can find the paper.
no, they didn't have anything on check this one.
No, we did, just our checks.
I was thinking it was 18 months.
Okay, was it whole
Steve's
range?
I don't-
making 18 and Roy's
I
making
don't remember, guys, and I
17.50.
don't wanna tell you wrong. Right now, Steve is making $18 an hour. And Roy is making 17.50.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
I got one other thing. What we gonna do with this old loader? Heaven knows we might run out of parking spaces out there.
I'd like to try one more thing before we either scrap it, trade it off, or otherwise get rid of it. And it won't cost anything. I mean, it's just a simple thing that may not work at all. But concerning the hydraulics, when you get in that thing and try to shift it, if you feather the forward reverse lever, you can feel it try to engage. So I don't know. Anyway, it ain't gonna cost anything more, so let me try what I'm thinking. And if it don't work, either scrap it, take it off, move it out.
Well, one of you guys may have to check on the slip, cause I'm on call for jury duty this month. And I'm supposed to be over on the slip this month, I ain't figured out how I'm gonna work that out yet. So,
All you need, yeah, just let
Yep, let me know
us
any day.
anything else?
Yeah, they handed a fire report from the fire department.
These are the runs we've had this month.
Do you guys wanna, you have a couple?
Mutual aid with Coolville on the brush fire on the 4th, or the 1st. Road hazard, that means a tree down or power line, some on that line. On the 4th, we had a road hazard there. 2 of them on the 4th. 15th, we had a lift assistance with Athens County EMS. 17th, mutual aid with Coolville on a structure fire. And 25th was a windy day, we were pretty busy that day. You see, we had four runs at least. No. 30th, we had a brush fire down on Township 119. 31st, road hazard. And then 31st, I activated fire alarm out on Jordan Run. Engine 50 is at McConnellsville, Atlantic. They are trying to catch or get the right sensor, but one that's acting up on it. And Jameson talked to them today, and they said they're getting very close to it. So another day or two, we should have it back.
Getting a what?
A sensor, acceleration sensor,
Oh, okay.
it'll sit there and run, and you take off one thing, don't watch it. Accelerates up.
Oh, thank you.
Nope.
Okay. So what happened with Matheny's?
Matheny's, instead of coming out and saying they didn't have the right equipment to test it with, they screwed us on, or trying to screw us on a bill for $500.
That's what I need to have a conversation with them about. Besides messing up their diagnostic track, whatever they did, I guess the Atlantic service people, technicians, when they opened the pump panel and electrical circuits, they found a lot of jumper wires and things that should not have been, and kind of messed things up for them to move forward and try to figure it out. So they've got to, I guess, from the information I had, they must have to disassemble whatever Matheny's did and then try to track down this electrical issue.
Yep.
Besides messing up, if they did mess up the wiring harness, this they did do. We spent $2,500 for a decal scheme for that truck, and when they tilted the cab, they didn't remove a 1.5 inch Y
Nozzle.
and nozzle, and they messed up the decal. They tore a spot in it about so big. I mean, that in and of itself is not so awful, but it messes up the whole $2,500 value.
Right.
That's what I have to have a conversation with them.
Well, what are they doing with the old one?
The guys are in, they're in favor of selling it, and we like to start at 15.
Putting together a flyer so that we can advertise it and sell it.
We've been doing that for a month.
Yeah.
We want to get it right. We want to get it right.
It's in the road.
I know.
Alright, we're working. I'm just wondering. Phil called me today. Mechanic.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Phil
Miller.
Miller. Wanna know if we still wanted him as a mechanic on that Bobcat.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me what I found wrong with it, and I said, I didn't find anything wrong with it. We put the new solenoid on it, blowed the fuse, we unplugged it, checked other stuff, put a new fuse in it, put the solenoid back in, hit the switch, it took off, and it's been running. So,
It's been running, what,
but I told him,
4 or 5 days?
keep us on the list, because it's gonna quit.
Yeah. Whatever the issue was, I don't think it's been solved.
Oh, I know it's been sold. It's one of them things, it's gonna take us a while to find it. Anything else? If not,
I can't
motion.
think of anything.
Oh, I do have a question. Jim, I received a check from the Ladies Auxiliary to pay for half of the training costs.
Right.
And do you have an invoice for the total amount of the training costs?
As soon as they send me an invoice.
Okay.
I may have it over here now, who knows? I haven't checked it lately.
Okay.
Anything else?
Motion closed.
Second.
All in favor? Thank y'all for coming.